Hello friends, today I'm going to solve LeetCode problem number 2390, removing stars from a string. In this problem we are given a string S. The string S would contain stars and it could contain also lowercase English letters. And the length of star starts from 1 and is equals to at most 10 to the power 5 characters. And we need to perform an operation on the string S. So in the string S we choose a star in the S and then remove the closest non-star character to its left, as well as remove the star itself, right? So we need to return the string after all the stars have been removed, that is after this operation has been completed on all the stars, and the input will be generated such that the operation is always possible, which means that if there is a star element in the string, then there is always be a character to its left which we will be removing, right? And it can be shown that the resulting string will always be unique. Okay, so let's look at some example so that we could understand this clearly. Now we have this example here given to us. So the first star character is this one, right? And the closest non-star character to its left, which is the closest one to its left, well, it is T, right? So we are going to remove these two characters. Now the resulting string that we have is this one, and the first star element or star character we found is this one, and the nearest one to its left is E, right? So we remove E as well. Now we only have one star left and the nearest character is D, so we remove those two and the final answer that we get is equals to this one. So this is how we actually solve this problem. Now let's look at this in another way. Let's suppose we have a lot of stars here. Now we encounter one star, we remove the character nearest to it towards the left. We encounter another star, we remove the nearest one, right? Again we encounter one star, so we remove the nearest to its left. Now one more star and we remove the nearest character to its left. Now what are we left with? The string is starting with a star and there is no more character to its left, but we need to remove the closest non-star character to its left, right? And it said that the operation is always possible, which means that if there is a star there should be a character to its left. That means this is not a valid example for this solution. So in this problem, always if there is a star there is always a left character. So this would lead us to basically how we could approach this problem. So we start from the first character here. We are actually going to use stack method to solve this problem. Now let's see, we start from the first character. First character is not a star, right? So we add that to our stack. Next we have character E, which is not a star, so we add E. Next again we have E and T. Now we encounter our star. So what are we going to do is, since we encountered our star, we need to remove the left character, right? Closest one, and the closest one is also the topmost character in the stack, right? So we actually remove this topmost character, and now our index here was actually at this position, right? At this position, this is star, first star. Now we encounter our second star, so we again need to remove the closest character to its left. Since we had already removed T and star, the closest character is E, right? And E is the top of the stack again, so we remove the top of the stack, we increment our counter. Now we found C, so we add C to our stack. Again we found O, we add O, we found D, we add D here, and then we encounter an asterisk again, a star again, so we remove from this stack, and then we encounter E, so we add E, and finally we have been able to successfully iterate over each of the character, and the characters in the stack will be our resulting string, and we will actually join the stack characters together to form our resulting string. So it's basically we are just using stack. Now let's write our base condition. If star as length is equals to 0, we are just going to return an empty character, even though we are told here that the length would be equals at least 1, but we it is always good that we check for the base conditions. And now starting from the first character, let I equals to 0, I is less than the length I plus plus, and now we check if the character at index I is equals to a star. If that is the case, then what we do is we pop from our stack, right? Okay, we have not created our stack, so let's create our stack equals to an empty stack. So we pop from our stack. Else what we do, else it is not a star, which means that we are just adding to our stack the character as I. And finally, we are going to return our string by joining the stack together. And that's all. So the time complexity of this solution is O of n, because we are iterating over each of the character, right? And the space complexity is also O of n, because we are using a stack, and the maximum length of the stack would be O of n in worst case. So now let's try to run our code and see the results. Great, let's submit the code now. Awesome. Hope you liked my solution. Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you.